What's up, YouTube? It is your Lord and Savior, King D353 here, and I found something somewhat interesting when I woke up today. I have the WWE app, you see, and while I was reading the cliff notes for this SmackDown, I noticed this little draft rules thing, and there was something I found quite interesting within it that I wanted to point out to you guys because I can, and it's a simple video to make, so I will. Simple videos are the best. Anyway, I'm just going to read this out to you, point out the things that I find quite interesting, and maybe you guys can post your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright. Draft rules revealed. Everything you need to know about the WWE Draft. With tonight's WWE Draft on the premiere of SmackDown Live on the USA Network fast approaching, WWE.com answers the biggest questions of the WWE Universe will break down the official rules, regulations, and procedures for one of the biggest nights in WWE history, including a major update that will change the face of NXT as well. The rules for the WWE Draft are as follows. Raw gets the first overall pick, which explains why Vince put Stephanie on Raw. Since SmackDown Live is a 2-hour show, and Raw is 3 hours, for every 2 picks SmackDown Live receives, Raw will receive 3 picks. This actually kind of annoys me, because that means they're basically saying, yeah, we're going to give Raw the obvious advantage, so fuck you, SmackDown. Which we shouldn't be surprised by. SmackDown is the B show, and always was the B show. I doubt Daniel Bryan's enough to change that, but let's go on. Tag teams count as 1 pick unless a commissioner or general manager specifically only wants 1 member of the team. So unless the general manager's a dick, looking at you, Stephanie and Mick, teams are safe from being broken up. 6 draft picks will off the NXT roster. Now, it doesn't say whether that's 6 per show or 6 in general. I'm guessing 6 in general, since per show would decimate NXT's roster a little too much. So expect Nakamura, Bayley, Austin Aries, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, and somebody else who probably isn't important enough for me to remember. Maybe Ty Dillinger? Expect those 6 most likely to be coming up to the main roster. Hopefully not Nia Jax. I'm honestly going to be pissed off if she comes up and Eva doesn't. I want them to be a package deal. Anyway, the list of current WWE superstars eligible for WWE Draft are as follows. And this is the part that interests me. Hell, the first one's one of the ones that interest me. Male superstars. AJ Styles. So despite the fact that we've seen AJ Styles ally himself to the club officially, constantly by their sides, they do everything together. They eat together. They lift weights together. They beat up John Cena together. That was such a forced fucking line. My point is, I find it interesting that AJ isn't a package deal with the club, which I find very odd, but okay. And this isn't even the weirdest one. In fact, you probably already see the weirdest one. Alberto Del Rio, Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin, The Big Show, Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt. They're splitting up the Wyatt family. The Wyatts are not considered a tag team or a stable for some unbelievably odd reason. The only logical explanation for this is that they're, for some odd reason, splitting up the Wyatt family. And I cannot understand why. I cannot for the life of me understand why. So, that's a thing. Brock Lesnar, which is also odd, because I'm sure you can see from here that Darren Young's packaged with Bob Backlund. Why isn't Brock Lesnar packaged with Paul Heyman? So yeah, that's odd too, as well as the fact that Brock Lesnar's a part-timer, so why is he a part of the draft as a part-timer? No, no, maybe it's not as interesting as to you guys as I think it is, but Cesaro, Chris Jericho, drink it in, man. Darren Young, Dean Ambrose, WWE Champion, the Demon Kane. So I guess Corporate Kane isn't part of the draft. Dolph Ziggler, Eric Rowan, again. Split away from the rest of the Wyatt family. The fuck. Jack Swagger. John Cena. Kalisto. Kevin Owens. Mark Henry. Neville. So we know Neville is indeed returning, even though he's injured as fuck. Randy Orton. Roman Reigns. So there you guys go. Even if someone's out at this moment in time, if they are returning, they're going to be on this list. As you can see from Randy and, more importantly, Roman, who's out on suspension at the moment. So, for anyone wondering what's going to happen with Roman with the draft, there you go. He's a regular draft pick like everybody else. Rusev with Lana, United States Champion. Sami Zayn. Seth Rollins. Sheamus. Sin Cara. Also, if you guys are wondering why I didn't point out the fact that Kalisto and Sin Cara are separate picks, we already know about this because on the WWE's YouTube channel, they had a little interview-esque thing where Sin Cara and Kalisto revealed they'd be entering the draft as singles competitors for some odd fucking reason. So yeah, that's not a surprise. That was actually announced before. The Miz with Maurice, Intercontinental Champion. Titus O'Neil. And Zack Ryder. So, this is the other thing I found odd about Brock Lesnar's inclusion. You notice that Brock Lesnar, a part-timer, was added, but Undertaker, another part-timer, was not. Does this confirm that The Undertaker is now retired? Because if Brock Lesnar can be drafted, it makes sense that The Undertaker should be draftable as well. So, there's some food for thought. Looks like Undertaker is actually retiring. Good for him. He deserves it. Tag teams. Breezango, who are surprisingly enough still a fucking team. Enzo and Cass. Enzo Amore and Big Cass. Why do you have to specify that? You know, I'm also hoping one of the NXT call-ups, even though it's very unlikely, is Carmella, because I want Carmella to rejoin with Enzo and Cass. Gallows and Anderson. Luke Gallows and Cardano. Why? Fuck it. The Club's here, and no longer called the Club for some reason. And AJ's still nowhere to be found. Fuck you. The Golden Truth, Goldust and R-Truth. The Shining Stars, Epico and Primo. I almost said Primico. Primico. That's the Shining Stars' new name, Primico. The Social Outcasts, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel, and Heath Slater. So, it's safe to say that, Adam Rose is not coming back. Ever. The Ascension, Connor and Victor apparently still have jobs. The Dudley Boyz, Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley. The New Day, Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods, the tag team champions. So why does the New Day get to stay a trio, but the Club don't? And the Wyatts don't. What the fuck? The Usos, Jimmy and Jay Uso. Well, Jay and Jimmy Uso. I always thought it was Jimmy and Jay. Not Jay and Jimmy. Huh. The Vaudevillains, Aiden English and Simon Gotch. Female superstars, Alicia Fox, who's apparently still employed. Becky Lynch. Charlotte, WWE Women's Champion. Dana Brooke. So Charlotte and Dana Brooks are not a package deal. I doubt they're going to separate them because Charlotte does still need Dana Brooke. She's still the slimy, slide-out, free diva. Maybe what they'll do is they'll have Dana still assist on on Battleground, since it's a joint pay-per-view, but on SummerSlam, they'll lose at Battleground, they'll have to split up for SummerSlam, and then Charlotte will lose to Sasha. That is what I'm guessing is going to happen. Especially if they switch shows, and this gives Dana Brooks good reason to betray Charlotte and quote-unquote make a statement to her own show. I mean, it's a possibility. It's the only reason I can see for them not to have those two grouped together, because they are a tag team. I don't care if they're a female tag team, they're still a tag team. So, that's my thoughts on that one. Eva Marie. Wait, what? Eva's on the main roster? I thought Eva was... I could have sworn Eva was an NXT superstar. Alright, so Eva Marie's on the main roster, which means it will be her fucking birthday if Nia Jax gets called up as one of the 6 draft picks. Naomi. Again, interesting, because that means they're including people who are currently out of action but will come back. So yeah, Taker's retiring. And any other male you can think of who's injured and wasn't on that list isn't coming back either. Natalya, Paige, Sasha Banks, Summer Rae. Nikki Bella also is not on the Divas list. And again, Naomi was injured, just like Nikki. So if Naomi's on this list, that means Nikki should be on this list. But she isn't. So that means to any Bella fans out there, we aren't going to get to see Nikki Bella. So, based off this list, we found a few interesting details. The Wyatts apparently are going to be split up. AJ Styles is most likely going to be split up from the club. Nikki Bella is not returning to WWE. She's probably retired now. And The Undertaker is retired now. So yeah, those are some interesting things to keep in mind. What are your guys' thoughts on the rules of the draft and the people selectable in said draft? Hope you guys enjoyed this little read-off and thoughts thing. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in a few days when I finally actually edit my Pokemon Go crap. Deuces, YouTube.